Hi everyone, Brian here, and I'm very excited to share with you today a new library by Spitfire Audio Impressionism. If you know me, you know that I've been using Spitfire Audio products for years and I'm still using them, and I've bought so many of their libraries in the past. And when they reached out to me to check out their library and make a video review about it, I was really excited and I said, yes, absolutely. But if I'm going to do a video review, I want to make sure that I get to say whatever I want and my opinions are my own and I get to share them and I get to do whatever I want in this video because I'm a small channel. I need to build trust with my audience, and so if I can't say exactly what I want, I don't want to do the video. And they said, yes, absolutely, you can do whatever you want. So they did provide me with a free copy of the library to make the video, but other than that, my opinions are my own and I get to say whatever I want. So today I built a little track using almost only Impressionism. So I'm going to play you the track and then I'm going to show you what I like about the library, what I don't like about the library, and then I'm going to do a little breakdown of my track to show you how I used the library to build my track, and then we all get to go home and make awesome music. So let's start with the little track that I did. Yeah, this library is really cozy and fuzzy and lovely is the best way that I can describe it. I will say this is not really the genre that I usually produce, and I wouldn't normally go for this kind of library just because of the things that I usually create and compose. But I do have friends that would instantly buy this library because there is something so organic and nice about it. So let's check out the library. The first thing, the interface. It looks pretty. It's the same interface that we know from Spitfire Audio. This is the first patch that you get when you open up the library. This is a beta version, but this could be the first patch that you'll be getting too when you open up this library. This is what it sounds like. It's very organic, it's very acoustic, and there is a quality to Spitfire samples that is just unparalleled in my opinion. They really know how to get performance out of the players that they're sampling, and this is lovely. Here's what happens when I introduce a little bit of the mod wheel. So immediately you notice that the sounds really evolve. The longer you hold the note, the more they kind of evolve. And this is a really cool feature of this library. And let me show you with a different sound what is happening. So this is this sound, which I also really, really like. So pretty. So each sound is being made with three parts. The first part always happens as soon as you play a key. This sound has a little bit of slow attack, but if I go to, let's say, one of the patches with a harp, and the first part is still soloed, right? So that's what's happening here. It always happens as soon as I hit the key. The second part will happen after, and then the third part. So if I solo the second part, you won't hear any of the woodwinds, and then you will hear only the strings, which are so beautiful. Which, honestly, this is a beautiful patch. I would use this on its own every day. This is so pretty. And then the third one is the little Celeste at the end. There it is. And in order to control how much separation you have between the three, it's using this separation knob. So if I bring this all the way down, everything will be played at once. Because the strings are the slowest, it'll sound like they come after, but everything is being triggered at the same time. So if I solo the Celeste, right. So this is the first thing where you can decide how much separation you want if you don't want it to be as long. Just beautiful. This is so lovely. I do find the control to be really helpful to dial in exactly what you want it to do. It would be cool to have different timing between the two, but honestly, I feel like this is enough. This is like a good way to control everything at once. Otherwise, it could be a little too complicated, so I do think this is a great choice to do it this way. The next element that we have control over, and I'm going to bring my separation all the way down for this, is what is happening during the mod wheel. So part one has no mod wheel attached to it. If I turn off the mod wheel, turn it down, nothing happens. For part two, I do have mod wheel. In this instance, it's like trills with like saxophones and winds, and it's just very, very pretty, but they don't sustain, right? So really pretty, and then it fades out. Part three has a different set of what is happening on the mod wheel, and it sustains. So it's going to be the Celeste. And it will sustain until I let go of the key. And this is really cool because you can have a little bit more dynamic with your sound. Which I think is a really cool thing that they did. The only thing that I couldn't figure out how to do is how to choose what is being played on the mod wheels, because this really sounds like strings to me. It has a little bit of saxophones in the string section, which is like so cool and is giving me so many ideas, but the sustain are just those trills. But in other patches, let me load something else, maybe this one. Right? It's those tremolos that are really, really pretty too. But what if I want those tremolos on the strings? As far as I can tell, I can't find where to control which each part does. And I think this would have been a lot better if we had a very clear, dedicated page to selecting part one, maybe to click on part one and then it opens up and like this is the attack, and then click on part two and like this is the attack, this is this sustain, and we can get a little preview. We've seen this in other libraries, and I think this would have been a great feature to add to give me the best control over creating the sound. Personally, I couldn't find. Maybe there is a way to do it, but I'm getting this copy of the library before I have any tutorials or manuals or anything like that. So maybe this feature does exist. And I know that there is this little menu right here where I can click and kind of like mix and match stuff, but the pictures aren't being represented when I click on them. Again, this is the beta, so this might be just a bug and needs to be fixed once the final version is out, which is totally fair, but it still doesn't give me a clear idea of what I'm putting where. I would love to have just part one, this is the sound that you have. Maybe give me the option to put a sound on the mod wheel for part one. I didn't find a patch that has sound on part one, and maybe I want, 3 sounds from my mod wheel. And then part two, this is the sound, this is what goes on the mod wheel. And then part three, this is the sound, this is what goes on the mod wheel. In that case, I can really customize my sound. Another cool thing that I really like about this library is that everything that you're playing is kind of being adjusted to the key that you set. You can set it to whatever you play will be set as the key that you're playing. What I like to do is put it on set, and then you can hear those trills. they're always in key. So if I play a chord that is out of key, you can see that it doesn't really fit, which could create really interesting things. But if I want to play C minor, then it'll change everything. And then now everything will fit. And you can really hear that everything is being adjusted, and those trills, some needs to be major, some needs to be minor. They actually adjusted based on the key and the chord that you're playing. And I think in different patches with different sounds that you have layered in your mod wheel, it creates really cool things and really cool sounds, and it fits really beautiful, and you can create really beautiful sounds with that. There is another section right here that is kind of like a reverb delay thing that you can tune. I didn't really understand it, and I don't want to cover it without any kind of manual and without knowing exactly what it does. I couldn't figure it out myself, but I'm sure with a proper tutorial or proper manual, you will be able to get it. However, just by messing around with it, I created a really cool sound that I used in my track. So I'm going to turn off the reverb that I added to it, and it sounds like this. Which is really in the spirit of this library. However, this octave up is not because of a second layer. It's actually coming from this, which you can see I'm tuning up an octave and then I'm delaying it a little bit. And so with reverb on it, it sounds so cool. Yeah, there's something really emotional about that sound that I really liked. And once I got that sound dialed in with the reverb and everything, I'm like, okay, let's make a track. This is kind of cool. The next track is pizzicatos. I'm using, again, just the first layer. And these pizzicatos are really organic sounding. I have, again, a lot of libraries from Spitfire Audio, and I've never heard these kind of pizzicatos before. Maybe in a library that I haven't bought before, but yeah, these are really cool. I do have them sent to cinematic rooms, but you know what? Let's turn off cinematic rooms, and these are the pits. And then with the reverb, something very visceral about how they are recorded and played that really adds to, I don't know, just like how palpable you can really feel the players in them. Let's see. This layer is just for the ending to make everything a little bit bigger. In this section. So it's this there. It's just a little shimmer on top. This major seventh, God, it's so pretty. The reason why it's doing that, it's because of this section that everything just fits into your key and you play a chord and it figures it out. I think it's really, really cool. Let's see what else. This is a cool thing that I did. I built a little stack of just the first layer, which is Celeste and harp and vibraphone. And then I have them going to a group with just Soothe, because it's a lot of warm instruments and I needed to get rid of a little bit of the warmth. And then I'm basically playing all of them together using this MIDI track. If you're using Cubase, you go to MIDI sends, and then you can send it to stack 1, stack 2, stack 3, and then you play one key and it's all 3. So it's like a new instrument, because again, I would love to be able to just use sound 1, 2, and 3 in one patch as just the main ones. So I got around it by using 3 tracks in Cubase and then using 1 MIDI track in order to play this lead. Which is really lovely. And I mean, this kind of allowed me to introduce them one by one at the beginning. And so it's just the Celeste, and then the vibes, and then the harp, and then a little bit of flutes. And you can see that I'm playing just a fifth here for the flutes, just a C and a G, but again, because of all of the intelligent stuff that is happening with the key selection, it's playing a full chord for me, which is so pretty. So all of this together in the intro, and then I have two patches that are just swelling about. Nothing special here and nothing special here, just two beautiful patches doing a little swell. Right? And with those three layers, that's so lovely. And then at the end, I did need to use a little bit of power because I wanted this thing to grow. And this library is very gentle, very cozy and lovely. And so I wanted a little bit of more power. So to keep it in the same realm, I used Albion Solstice for more spiccatos, but I used the, what are they, like the Ricochet one? Yeah, so they're... And they give that big depth together with the pits. Yeah, they just help so much. And then again, to add more harmonic content, then I have the Solstice in their Longs patch. They do kind of feel like they fit, which is, I don't know, it's really cool. And then for the Hollywood effect, Abbey Road with, what am I looking for? Lows for chords. I have some highs just for the build-up. Because with the Solstice. And then Albion 1, Soaring Strings, which is starting to become one of my favorite high kind of legato strings. Just delivers, you know, the lead of it all. Yeah. So these are just the others, right? The things that are not Impressionism. And altogether, just that last section, because I really like it and it sounds so... it's like a Christmas movie, kind of. This is what it sounds like. Okay, one last thing before I sign out. Whenever I play this last section, this patch has the widest saxophones that are doing trills, and you can really hear the mechanics of the saxophone. And every time I think there is someone right here, right besides me, because something about, I don't know how they did it, but it's so freaking wide. And so I'll play just this section, and every time it freaks me out. I'm like, who is this in this room? Check this out. It's like they're here in the room. It's crazy. Yeah, this is Impressionism. I do think the library sounds incredible, even though it serves a very specific niche as opposed to their more versatile libraries like their orchestral stuff, because you can use brass and strings on pretty much every genre. This is really targeted towards if you're looking for a gentle, cozy, lovely kind of sound. But if you are, then this is fantastic because the sounds are great and the players were great and they were sampled in a way that is really usable and very inspiring. I do think that having more customizability, like mix and matching and letting us create our own patch, would take this library further and kind of set it apart from the Project Sam Symphobia kind of captured ensembles kind of way, which again, it's great, it's fantastic, and it's very usable, but it's, if I'm looking for that ensemble, then I'll go towards that, where if I could mix and match however I want, this will open up this library to be like a creative workflow for twinkles and fairy dust that you add on top of pretty much anything that you want to, because you can customize it to your own needs. And I really hope that they implement this in the future. But even if they don't, I think this library is really, really cool. And if this catches your ear, I can think of 3 friends that would instantly buy this library and would use and abuse it to its full extent. And even more so if we had this little extra customizability. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Let me know what you think of the library in the comments below. And did you like my demo? It was really fun to make. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And stay creative, stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one.